Hello, it's me, Antoinette Taus, founder of the nonprofit Cora, a volunteer, an environmentalist, and I am deeply passionate about sustainability and learning so much more about it. And as a future sure buyer of Toyota Electrified, I am so excited that Toyota is bringing the first BEV to the Philippines, the BZ4X. And of course, I am so grateful and very lucky to be joined today by two of the Philippines' leading experts in mobility, or let's also say sustainable mobility, to learn so much more. And I'm going to take you guys on this journey with me. Hello, and it's so nice to see you again. Could you please introduce yourselves to everyone so they know who you are and media group that you represent?
Hi, I'm Yuli Ang from CarGuide.PH. I've been a motoring journalist for more than 25 years now.
Okay, now I'm Kap Aguila, the motoring editor of Business World, and actually, like Yuli, I also write for the Philippine Star. And I also have a YouTube channel called Uncapped. So guys, please like, follow, and subscribe. Thank you.
Yes, please do. And I have to admit, I myself am not a car expert at all, but I am deeply passionate about sustainability and making sure that the decisions that I make on a daily basis, especially the bigger decisions like what to drive and how this impacts not just the environment, but the communities around me. And so today I'm going to be asking a lot of questions about the car itself, the BZ4X, but also about its impact on the environment around us and of course on people. And so first, for someone who has never driven a BEV, I myself also, how would you describe this experience? If you had to explain this car in the simplest way, how would you describe it?
When it comes to your first question, what makes it different? Well, BEVs, for one, they don't have any sound. So one of the things that we really talk about when it comes to the BEVs would be tailpipe emissions. Okay, that's great. But another key concern that urban cities have would be noise pollution. So imagine that with a BEV, it's able to handle both of that. It's able to handle emissions because it has zero tailpipe emissions. And then second is when it comes to noise pollution, there's actually none. So cities will be quieter and the air will be easier to breathe. And when it comes to the driving experience, it's different in the sense that for car enthusiasts, it delivers instant power. If you drive a regular car with an internal combustion engine, or shall we say the diesel or gasoline engines, these kinds of cars take a while to build up speed. When it comes to BEVs, the power is from zero and then it just goes 100%. So imagine like a life-size RC car.
Really?
It's similar to that.
Oh my goodness. I never realized that it actually would be that incredibly powerful. And I guess that is the acceleration as well that you were speaking of. That's incredible. Wow.
Yes, I mean, a little fact, the BZ4X, for example, has 343 PS of power. Putting that into perspective, it's actually the most powerful production Toyota outside of the Gazoo racing range. It's hard to imagine, but that's the performance that the BZ4X can provide.
I am genuinely amazed right now. Thank you so much for sharing that fact. I am sure that a lot of people are going to be fascinated to know that. And for everyday consumers, if you were to describe it in the simplest way, how would you explain the BZ4X as a BEV?
BEVs have been here for quite some time now, of course, from other brands. But I think the most important thing about the BZ4X is the badge that's on the front. It's a Toyota. And that's crucial, at least in my opinion, because, Toyota, basically in the Philippines, they have cornered half of the vehicle sales market. So if you have the leader now bringing their own BEV product, it speaks to the validity of the powertrain, right? And so, to your point, I think that's the most important thing that people need to know at the moment is that, yes, there's no getting around the battery electric vehicle format because, yes, the country's number one automaker, auto brand, has brought it in. And that sort of validates the drive to sustainability, just to link it with your own advocacy. So the messaging here is clear that the carbon neutral future that we're all aiming for or driving toward is here.
So, in connection to what you just said, why do you think now is the best time? Why is now the right time?
Well, a little fun fact, this Toyota wasn't late into the EV game. A lot of people give this sort of complaints like, oh, Toyota, they're late into the BEV game. But a little fact is that Toyota's been developing BEV since the 1990s. But they know that technology takes a while to develop and to improve. Now is the right time because number one, there is a more robust charging infrastructure. The technologies of the BEVs, batteries and electric motors have also matured. So all of those combined, together with Toyota's, shall we say, almost the OC level of engineering, means now is the right time.
That's incredible. Well, okay, when it comes to electrification, I feel like there can be a lot of misconceptions. In the context of the Philippines, what do you think some of these misconceptions are when it comes to sustainable mobility, especially in electrification, and what do you want to change about that?
When it comes to electrification, first off, when it started with, of course, hybrids that we have a lot of right now, people would come up to me and ask, Kap, does my hybrid or does a hybrid need to be charged? And that's a simple question, but the answer, of course, is if it's a traditional hybrid with a self-charging system, then no, you don't have to. But I think there was that notion that if people thought of the word electric, then it was something that needed to be charged. So there was still that kind of anxiety. So I guess with Toyota bringing the BZ4X, I think it also speaks to the level of maturity for people right now, that they are aware of what it means to go electrified. And Toyota's also leading in that charge. Toyota's selling the most number of hybrid electric vehicles in the country. So now you see sort of doubling down with the BZ4X that, okay, we've seen that. I think that's at least that's what I think. Toyota's now seeing that level of maturity when it comes to electric vehicles. Okay, people have embraced the hybrid format, and we think that they will be ready to take that next step toward full electric vehicles, which is of course the BZ4X.
It's so wonderful to know that Toyota is really anticipating, making sure that they are leading in this multi-pathway approach, especially when it comes to carbon neutrality or going beyond it itself. And how about you? Are there any misconceptions that you wish to correct about electrification?
I think a lot of my readers, for example, or even watchers of the YouTube channel that I run, would always say, when you drive an electrified vehicle or a BEV, there's always a concern of it can't go through floods. There's a Tagalog term, makukuryente ka if it goes through floods, right? So again, the BZ4X is different because it has a high water wading depth. Imagine that, you can go through half a meter floods and it shouldn't be a problem, right?
It's sad to know that we have to prepare for these things. It's sad to think of that, but that was really a question that I was going to ask. And so beyond floods, is there anything else you can add to the context of how this actually benefits the current Filipino lifestyle, or actually even the challenges we're facing?
I think the challenge that we're facing is we've seen it. I mean, climate change.
Yes.
We've seen it. The storms that we have are getting worse. The flooding is also getting worse. One afternoon is enough to flood the metro, for example. So we all have to do our part. And I think one of the ways we can do our part is the way in the choices that the choices in the cars that we make, right?
Yes.
So one of them is going electrified. The beauty with Toyota is that if you're ready to go with hybrid, they provide the widest hybrid lineup here in the country. If you're ready to go pure electric, then there's always the BZ4X.
So I feel like when it comes to electric vehicles, a common question usually is, how far can this really take me? So could you tell us a little bit more about the range of the BZ4X?
Toyota has released a figure of 570 kilometers between charging sessions. So that's quite a distance, and that would be expressed in perhaps Filipino references. That would be a trip to Baguio.
Yeah, a trip to Baguio and back.
And back.
And you still have charge left over, yeah. And okay, so for people who are saying that that's just a theoretical figure, so we were able to drive the BZ4X. In our experience, we achieved about a figure of 6.89 kilometers per kilowatt. So, okay, that sounds also scientific, right? But
Yes,
if you
it does.
but if you multiply it by the battery's capacity, you're close to about more than 500. So imagine that, more than 500 kilometers of range. And we drove it from North EDSA to Clark. So that's about, what, maybe 50-ish kilometers?
More, actually,
Yeah.
more. Closer to 100, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, to Yuli's point, it really, I think one of the biggest barriers to EV ownership in the Philippines is, of course, we know all about this, the range anxiety, right? People are so worried that their BEV will die while they're behind the wheel and so far from a charging point. So I think that going back to your earlier point or question, I think this is the right time for the BZ4X, for Toyota to bring in the BZ4X. Also because we were told that it's actually an updated model. And when we say updated, the battery, that includes the battery. So hence the 570 kilometer range. And yeah, that goes, I think, for buyers or browsers, that figure will go a lot towards helping curb range anxiety. So yeah, you now have a compelling, not just a compelling product, but one that ticks the right boxes if you're looking for a BEV.
Yeah. Plus, you have to ask yourself, I mean, how much of the time do you actually travel 500 kilometers in one go, right?
I was gonna say, I don't go to Baguio all the
Exactly.
time.
And you don't do it like you go to Baguio up and then go down on the same day. So normally
Definitely
you do
not.
overnight. So, I mean, that is precisely the point. It's great that you have this sort of range, but you always have to ask yourself, does it fit your lifestyle? So for the typical Filipino who spends their time about 90% in the city or maybe more, your travel is probably, what, 40 kilometers at most. So you have charge that's good enough for a week. So you can just charge it up on a Saturday or a Sunday and you're ready to go on a Monday.
Work, home, school, passions, anything else, and it's usually within your community. And of course, this brings sustainable impact to every community that it's actually driven. And in connection with the range, the next question would really be, what is charging like? How accessible is charging now? And what is Toyota doing to help expand access to charging electrified vehicles in the Philippines?
With regard to the, of course, we talked about the range, right? So, although we know that the country, our charging infrastructure, let's face it, it's still, a lot needs to change, or there are still so many gaps in the network, as it were. So that's where the range comes in, the 570 kilometers. But each purchase with of a BZ4X also comes with a free wall box adapter, home AC charging system.
And a portable charger.
And a portable charger as well. So what that does is, like you said.
How does it work?
Okay, so you can just have it connected to your home. What do you call it? Your home socket. Okay, you can just have it connected to your home socket, and you can charge your BZ4X overnight while you sleep.
Just like charging a phone
Yeah,
or a laptop.
very pain-free. Now, in the rare instance or rare cases that you're out somewhere and there's no proper charging station or charging point, Toyota also throws in a portable charger. So you only,
And how would you use that?
you just need to hunt for a similar power socket, AC, and that will give you, although not as fast a charge, but it will give you enough charge. You just need to wait about, have some coffee, have merienda, and then it will give you enough charge to bring you to where you need to. I mean, this is for like emergency situations, right? It should give you enough charge to get to that proper charging point, or even get home if you're near enough, right? So again, these are measures to help alleviate the anxiety in people who are not too comfortable with battery electric vehicles yet.
Yeah, I'd just like to add to what Kap said. So Toyota actually has 12 BEV dealers. Each of these BEV dealers will have a free charging station. And we're talking about both AC and DC charging. And beyond that, they actually have other 2 BEV chargers located in La Union and Batangas City. So the entire Metro Manila is covered. And if you want to take your BZ4X out of town, at least you also are covered. Imagine that you don't have to pay for the charging at all.
I know. I was like, the key word that stuck with me was free. I was like, free charging stations.
Yeah,
Wow.
and the beauty is each of these Toyota dealers would have both AC and DC charging. AC charging is what you get at home. It's normally a slower charging, but it's better for the battery. So it's a type that Kap said you leave overnight. It's up to, in the case of the BZ4X, you can charge it up to 22 kilowatts. The battery will probably be charged overnight, maybe say 7-8 hours.
That's incredible.
So that's just the time that you sleep, right?
And exactly, I was going to say you have to rest anyway.
Correct.
So your car can also recharge.
Correct. Now, if in an emergency, you can fast charge it. It's called the DC charging. In this case, a 30 to 80% charge will just take 30 minutes. And
Wow.
yes, it's that fast. I mean, for the BZ4X, it does about up to 150 kilowatts directly. So you can go to any of these Toyota dealers and you can be able to do that for free.
So you mentioned the battery. So in terms of charging, we know all the different implications of charging and of course using batteries in itself. So how durable is the battery and what is Toyota doing to ensure its reliability and sustainability?
Well, the BZ4X comes with a 5-year warranty, bumper to bumper, and the battery itself comes with an 8-year, 200,000 kilometer warranty. So that's actually very good peace of mind. And what I noticed when I was driving here in the menu system, and this is the first time I've seen it in an EV, the BZ4X actually tells you the state of health of the battery. A lot of the times, there is guesswork. Like, you don't know like how much mileage your battery has run, how many percent charge does it have left. Just like your latest device, like your cell phone, it tells you like how many max charge does it have left. So you'll be able to tell like, oh, this car is new because it still has 100% state of charge. As it gets older and older, you'll see it. It's in the menu system. So I'm just glad that Toyota was able to put that inside the BZ4X.
But Antoinette, just to add also, when you get your BZ4X, good practice is that you charge it to 80% only, and that's something that we've heard across brands. Not to stress the battery.
phones, right?
Yeah, even for phones. So just let us know what color you will be choosing, and we'd
That's
love
one
to
of
ride
the
with
hardest
you.
decisions
Yeah.
that I have to make.
That's actually also the menu.
Yeah.
But the beauty of it in the menu, you can also set the max charge. So for example, for day-to-day driving, you can tell the car to just charge at max 80%. After it reaches 80%, it cuts off,
Really?
saving the life of the battery. Now, if you need the entire 570 kilometers of range, just swipe the toggle to go 100% and you're ready to go.
Oh my goodness. I really have to say, I am incredibly amazed with all these innovations and features. And I guess in terms of the battery life, the charging, and the sustainability in general, how would you say this impacts the environment in a positive way?
Well, of course, aside from what Yuli has already discussed, right? Can you imagine a metropolis with just BEVs? I mean, that would be, as he said, that would be one very quiet place, emission-free. I think the possibility is really tempting. And again, it's up your alley. Sustainability, I mean, there's really no getting around the fact that fossil fuels, at least in their current form, is bad for the planet. So the sooner we get to a carbon neutral society, and in Toyota's case, again, we're talking about the multi-pathway. Toyota is also not about shoving solutions. You know, you can't shoehorn a solution into a city or a society that's not ready for it yet. Yes. So that's why I think, again, to add to what we were talking about, and that's why again, this is the kind of timing that Toyota Motor Philippines has for the BZ4X. If the market is ready, and if you think, you know, because the transition should be seamless. Again, a solution cannot be forced upon a society that's not ready for it yet. And so that's why the multi-pathway approach for Toyota is about, they're saying even ICE or internal combustion engine vehicles can be efficient. Therefore, you know, we've always associated ICEs with pollution, right? But there can be high efficiency engines, and Toyota's also doing work in that regard. And so from your ICEs, from your plug-in hybrids, to your hybrids, and of course, electric vehicles, if all of these are geared towards the same thing, which is carbon neutrality, then it can work, and with the least amount of disruption in our lives.
In connection with Toyota's multi-pathway approach, Is there anything you would like to share as well?
Yeah, I'll just like to add to that. So, okay, so you're into the sustainability thing. So, okay, a lot of people are probably thinking, okay, I own a battery electric vehicle. So, what's going to happen after I decide to like sell it or dispose of it, right? So there are a lot of talks about like how batteries are hard to dispose of, etc., etc. Toyota is the only brand that I know, at least locally, with an end-of-life program for their vehicles, and that includes the battery. So at least we're thinking that it's zero guilt because the cars will be recycled properly, and there's no effect, or it minimizes the effect on the environment.
This makes my heart very, very, very happy to know that it's not just how it's actually run, how it operates, but actually how it will impact the planet at its end of life.
That's the beauty with Toyota, I think. There's always a concern that maybe they're sometimes late into something, but they really think about it. It's not just like the product is the end all. They have to think about everything else. They have to think about the servicing, they have to think about the customers, and they have to think about the support network. And if we go into electrification, a big part of that support network is, of course, the proper recycling and handling of materials.
How do you see Toyota's multi-pathway approach also impacting TMP's goals towards carbon neutrality?
Well, I think TMP, as the local distributor of Toyota vehicles, of course, they're aligned with the aforementioned multi-pathway. We've been hearing this for a while, and Yuli and I were in Japan with Toyota, and the messaging has always been consistent. Okay, that number one, it's mobility for all. And when we say mobility for all, that includes all sectors of society and whatever solutions they need or can afford at a given time. And then number two, of course, again, is carbon is the enemy. That's another one of the key messages. There is no one powertrain that is bad or evil. As Yuli has also mentioned, Toyota has gotten a lot of flack in the past from journalists and even
Other brands.
Because they were thinking that Toyota, hey, why doesn't Toyota espouse a fully electric program, or why shouldn't the vision be toward battery electric vehicles right away? And now, as they so thoroughly presented in Tokyo for us and other members of the media, we see the world now taking a step back, or the industry taking a step back from those initial days because of the challenges that they see in applying a single battery electric vehicle solution for all the territories they're at. And battery electric vehicles also have their own sort of niggling problems or issues. And so therefore, I guess the thing is, Toyota was again right in being able to discern what the right timing would be for in this case, the BZ4X.
Yeah, just picking up on what Kap said. I mean, that is what the multi-pathway approach is. It's not just one solution that is fit for everyone in the world. You have to understand that technology, infrastructure, it all has varying, shall we say, adoption rates all over the world. Europe, for example, may be ready for a fully electrified future or present. But areas like Southeast Asia and the Philippines, where infrastructure is still in its infancy, maybe a fully electric is not the solution just yet, but it may be a solution to some. The beauty with it is when Toyota said carbon is the enemy, they say that it's not just tailpipe emissions, but it's also on the conservation of natural resources. For example, when other brands say, why doesn't Toyota just develop BEVs? But Toyota counters that by adopting a hybrid approach for some markets, they're able to electrify, shall we say 70 to 90 cars versus one fully battery electric vehicle. For some markets, that makes sense because you're able to drop the CO2 emissions much higher than just adopting one BEV. And at the same time, you're able to conserve natural resources. So you're able to electrify more vehicles but while conserving the limited resources that we have. Now, for some markets or for some people, at least now Toyota is also offering a fully electrified solution if they think that their lifestyle already will fit into that.
I really appreciate the fact that you both emphasized how the multi-pathway approach really shows that there is no one solution that fits all, but there are many different solutions that can fit into different scenarios. And of course, again, timing is everything. You don't just throw one random innovation into the mix. You prepare for it before, during, and after, and you look down the road and ensure that you are supporting its expansion in the future, its accessibility and its reliability for its consumers. And not just that, for the Filipino people, for the Filipino lifestyle. And I feel that that's one of the questions that I also wanted to ask you. How do you feel this supports the Filipino lifestyle, from families to individuals, having a BZ4X, having a BEV? What does it offer in terms of comfort, space, drivability, lifestyle, and again, the challenges that we are currently facing as a nation?
Okay, let's go for the most basic. If they're for enthusiasts who are after power, again, the BZ4X provides you that 343 PS.
Yeah.
For families that want comfort, it has no sound, no emissions. So
Sleeping babies.
Or if you bring like fur babies along.
Oh, fur babies too,
right?
yes.
So imagine that. So it provides all of these. And at the same time, because it's a Toyota, you know for a fact that it's built with what they call the QDR, which is quality, durability, and reliability. That means that these cars are engineered for the long run. They're not just here for like 1 year and then you dispose of them. They're here for the long run, maybe 10 years, even more.
What the BZ4X does actually is to sort of lower the price of admission for electric vehicles as far as Toyota is concerned. Toyota's luxury brand, Lexus, already introduced the Lexus RZ in 2023. That's also another battery electric vehicle. But I remember asking a couple of executives that time if we would see during that time the BZ4X soon, and they said that they were still looking at perhaps the reception of the market. And of course, we know that early adopters tend to be the more affluent among us, or the car buyers that are looking at a much higher price point. So I guess with the addition of the BZ4X, then the answer is, okay, now Toyota does see that we are ready for it. And perhaps also to relate it to a recent release, Toyota also lowered the price of admission for hybrids with the release of the Toyota Ative. So that effectively is now the lowest price hybrid vehicle in the Toyota lineup. So now you can see sort of things coming together as far as the electrified domain goes for Toyota. First you have the Ative, and now you have the BZ4X. That speaks also of to the level of trust probably of Toyota in the market, that yes, like I said, Filipinos appear to be ready for battery electric vehicles. And if they're not quite ready, then let's give them all the reason that to allay their fears via the aforementioned range, all the charging solutions that they have, and I think these are good days for the Philippines, for car browsers like you.
Most definitely. I really appreciate the time that you spent and the expertise that you shared. Again, I mentioned you didn't have to convince me, but I am even more amazed, inspired, excited, and really, really looking forward to transitioning into sustainable mobility and going electrified. Of course, one last question for each of you, and this can be something really quick, a quick fire question. What do you love most about Toyota's BZ4X?
I think for me, it's the entire package. It's the electric vehicle, again, with the Toyota badge. There is trust that you put in that badge. And it's a trust that, well, I personally also believe in. You get the zero tailpipe emissions, you get sustainable mobility, sustainable motoring, but in a package that's reliable, it's a package that you trust.
Actually, for me, I was talking to Denzo, our media colleague, yesterday when we were doing the drive from Manila to here. I said I think the biggest unique selling proposition for the BZ4X is that, because like Yuli and me, we have had the opportunity to drive a number of electric vehicles from a number of brands, right? And sometimes it feels like, oh, okay, another electric vehicle. Oh, okay, another electric vehicle. Then yesterday we were like trying to be philosophical about it. And I was like, yeah, but this one's a Toyota, right?
Exactly.
So to add to Yuli's point, I mean, there's a level of comfort or reassurance that you get when you look at that badge, that Toyota badge on the steering wheel. Like, this is not just any electric vehicle. This is a Toyota, and you are actually buying what that stands for, right? QDR that Yuli mentioned, availability of parts. Because again, Toyota will not deploy a vehicle that they're not prepared to service, or they don't have the expertise to service.
Of course.
So yeah, I think that's what you really buy. All the peace of mind that you get, and hey, niyabang also, it's Toyota eh.
Yeah, let's put it. I mean, let's put it this way. It's no accident that they've been in the Philippines for more than 35 years, and they've been in every market for more than 30 years, 40
Yeah.
years, 60 years.
50% of the market.
Yeah,
in the
50, more than
Philippines.
50% of
Yeah.
the market. So here you go.
You say a package that you can trust, a brand you can trust, that offers not only reliability, durability, of course, sustainable mobility, bringing this innovation or innovations to the Philippines. I feel that we are truly lucky. The Filipino people are also truly very, very lucky to be able to be impacted by Toyota's multi-pathway approach. And
There's one question though.
yes.
What color will you get?
Oh my goodness, I
the
know.
lingering question
That
that
is
you
going
and
to
I
be
have.
the toughest decision that I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
make. And perhaps after this, you can help me choose.
You like that one in front?
Oh my goodness, perhaps one, no, just one. Not one of each. We stay sustainable.
Pwede din.
Isa lang. And thank you again so much. I really appreciate you taking the time to break down these technical and scientific sometimes questions that can be understood by everyone, especially by consumers like myself. And once again, we hope to see more and learn more from you in the future, not just about Toyota's multi-pathway approach, but how, of course, we're electrifying the Philippines.